Hello and welcome to another build guide in Wartales. I consider this to be probably one of the most broken builds in the game. This is a fighter using the frantic chain weapon from the Skelmar DLC. You will need at least the Skelmar DLC to make this happen. It's all built around this weapon here. This weapon is the Ulfark's Ulfbert, and this weapon has the ability called Frantic Chain. It deals damage to the target, and when you critically hit with this skill, the skill can be reused this turn. Each successive hit gives Frantic, and Frantic says this unit loses 25% of their maximum health the next time they use Frantic Chain. So as we attack enemy units, we're going to be losing maximum HP, so we'll take 25% of our maximum health and damage every time we attack. The way that we keep this from killing us is to use Conversion Oil, which says every time a skill deals damage, it has a 50% chance to restore an amount of health equal to 20% of the damage dealt. So it's 20% life leech. Now, how do I get this to work every single time? Well, we use Conversion Oil Concentrate, which gives us a 100% chance to heal for 20% of our damage dealt. So that's how this build works. So let's see what the build looks like in action. This build has the ability to hit 5 times per attack. So I'll show you what that looks like here. Hit once. If any enemy unit survives long enough, you'll see the full combo. But basically, we will attack. We will shield slam, we will get an engaging strike, shield slam, and if we proc unstable oil, we'll get an attack of opportunity. So that's up to 5 attacks per 1 attack on this unit. This is a tank. This is going to probably survive at least a couple hits. There's the engaging strike, attack of opportunity. Did not go off. Move in, attack, shield slam, attack. So the only limiting factor of this is how far can you move. And right now this unit has 55 movement, which is insane. So I'm going to try to kill every single one of these enemies. We'll see how many I get through. And I'll break down everything after combat and explain in detail how it all works. So I'm pretty sure people have questions. If this looks broken, that's because it is. I think this is probably the most broken build in the game that I've come across, that I've seen, built in the entirety of Wartales. One, two, three. Is no one gonna make it to 5 hits? I probably won't get to kill every single one of these enemies, but regardless, it's pretty impressive. We are out of movement. Let's run in. Getting these last 3 kills. Wow. He killed so many units that they decided to run on his own, and we can still kill 2 more units here. Insane. Insane. Literally insane. And that's all we can do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 kills by himself. The captain. Insane. So, let's go ahead and finish this fight, and I'll show you what happens and how to make this build and how to bring it all together next. Okay, welcome back. Let's see here. Let's go over the attributes and the specialization first. So I recommend putting 15 points of willpower in so that the unit survives the first time they should die in combat. And then a breakdown of the critical hit is we have 21% base critical hit. We have 0% because we are not wanted enough in our crime and punishment or crime and chaos. 5% from our duelist trait. 12% from Master Tinkerer profession, 15% from stuffed cabbage food, and 47% from our equipment, which we'll go over in just a second. This unit is a fighter, and we've chosen to make them a Valorous dueler. So every time they engage, they get a Valor point. Counterattack, so that we get Riposte and Fury, which gives damage of the next attack increased by 50%. And if they hit us during the engage, we also hit them back with Riposte. And then once we disengage, we get Inspiration, doubling our movement for the remainder of the round. I recommend Duelist Instinct, which gives Brutality, which increases our damage by 30%. And if you upgrade this, you'll get critical damage increased by 30% as well. I recommend Engaging Strike. If you don't see this on your options, that's because it's locked behind the level 15 Swordmaster Master class. So you have to hit level 15 on a sword user to get Master class, and then this will be unlocked once you go to the Brotherhood training ground and talk to the Master teacher there. I recommend Defensive Riposte. So if you want to get an extra attack, you can disengage from an enemy. You have a 50% chance to hit them instead of taking a hit. And we use class specialization so that we can unlock the Duelist Instinct at level 12. As for the gear, the helmet, nothing special, just any heavy helmet that you can find with critical hit chance. You can even use a medium helmet if you prefer, if it has higher crit chance. That's the only reason we're using this helmet, is because it has critical hit chance on it. The chest piece doesn't really matter. We're using the current chest piece because we found one that had critical damage plus 25% on it. So that's why we chose to use this. And we have 3 layers, which are giving us 45% critical hit chance. How do we do that? Well, you could have 3 saber-tooth brooches, and they add 15% crit hit each for an exchange of -5 guard. So right now we have -10 guard and plus 30% hit chance. And our last option is Sea Serpent's Reinforced Layer. This is from the Pits DLC. If you don't have the Pits DLC, you can just run 3 of the saber-tooth brooches for 45%. The only reason we're using this one is because it's better, because we don't lose anything, and we gain 15% critical hit damage. So that's why we're using that. The weapon we went over earlier, it's a 3-starred Ulfark's Earthbart with conversion oil, unstable oil, and that's so that we can heal on hit, and we get a chance to attack of opportunity if the enemy survives our engaging attack and then engaging strike, plus the 2 shield slams. Any of those can trigger unstable oil, which will give us another hit after that. So a total of 5 hits possible per attack per unit. And we're using the conversion oil belt piece so that we can have a 100% chance to heal ourselves every attack. We're using the Defender's Roundel, which will give us an additional attack every time we use a skill. So as soon as we attack somebody with our sword, as soon as we have the engaging strike, we will hit them with our quick shield bash every single time. This particular shield is extremely rare, and so is the sword. It is also extremely rare to get these in drops. If you're struggling to get either one of these, the Ulfbark's Ulfbrent comes from the Skelmar enemies in the Skelmar region, and the shield itself comes from the guard units from the Defenders specifically. And you can get that either through assassination contracts or fighting the guard. And if you're having trouble dropping it in your banner, there's a option here for respect for the enemy, which the troop earns a lot more loot after a battle. So I recommend picking that up if you have the influence for it, and it'll increase your drop chances for the shield and the sword when you're fighting those enemies. And when you're in the Skelmar region, doing that whole campaign, where is it? When you go here, the Skelmar region, you get like support from each of these different areas around the map. And some of these, I think 2 of them, there's an option as one of the 2 options is to have the enemies drop additional loot. So you can have that twice and the banner for 3 times the loot in the Skelmar region when you're doing the Fate of Ormance storyline there. I recommend doing that if you're trying to search for those swords. And I think the higher level you are, the higher of a chance they have a chance to drop too. That applies for the shield and the sword. All right, what else? So where do you get these things? Let's go over that. So conversion oil you get from the Dromback County. There's some plague doctors walking around in the middle of the map right next to the second town in that area. Let me show you on the map here. We are in the Dromback region. Over here on the left side next to Hallberg, there's going to be some traveling merchants here that have the cure for the plague. And you'll want to talk to them. They're the purple Alizarian plague doctor guys. And talk to them. They'll have 3 recipes for you to buy. And one of those will be the conversion oil, which will heal you on attacks. The unstable oil is from the Ludern area. You need to go into the Ludern tomb down here just south of Yevil-Clan. But you'll need to do the storyline for the Fate of Ludern because the tomb access is gated behind the storyline there. And that's where you pick up unstable oil. You can use any other oil, but I like the unstable oil for our particular purposes for this build. And what else? I think that's it when it comes to everything on the character as far as the build. What do I recommend for food items? Well, let's take a look here. We go into this, we go to food. Let's go to the advanced recipes. I recommend on this to take the strength bonus, mutton stew. I recommend surf and turf for constitution. Stuffed cabbage. The delicious version of this will give you 15% critical hit. I recommend this to get to 100% crit chance if you're struggling in the early game. Porridge for the movement speed. The delicious version gives you +2 movement in combat, which is great for getting additional kills on this build. Beer-infused wolf ribs will give you increased critical damage up to 35%, which is great. What else? There's a couple more here. Let's see. Some of these that we're getting into now are from Skelmar and from Pirates of Beleran, but if you have those DLCs, these are what I recommend for these. The Wolf and Mushroom Gratin, crit hit and crit damage. Excellent options for our build that we're currently running. The Clefauti, which will be 15% more strength at the cost of 10% constitution. 2 fish tartar, which is offensive elation, which gives the next attack 25% increased damage. Only applies once per combat, but it's still pretty good. Breaded sausage, +2 movement. The advanced version or the delicious version is +3. This right here, bear stew, increases the chance of earning equipment from combat. That's a great way to get the sword and the shield that I recommend in this build. And that's about it. As for the feasts, you'd want to run Culture Shock for the 20% increase in strength, which stacks with the other strength food. Bonus movement from creature comforts is excellent. Critical damage from Tail of the Wolf and the Hop, excellent. It stacks with the other critical damage stack as well. And I think that's about it for foods. These specialties down here are from the Tavern DLC. The Alchemist Creme Brulee is insanely strong. It gives you a 5% damage increase bonus for each debuff applied to the target, which is great. This right here, each time this unit lands a critical hit, they gain Fit of Rage, which increases the critical damage by 5%. Also super amazing for this build. Well Fed here, each time this unit performs an attack, they gain 1 Rage, which is 5% damage up to a maximum of 50%. Also amazing. Well Fed here is damage increased by 15% if it's unit adjacent to an animal. Not very useful for us here. And Cheesy Macaron, every time this unit performs an attack of opportunity, they gain 1 preparedness, which is 1% stacking damage for damage of attack of opportunity damage. So those are the food things that I recommend for the build. And that's pretty much it. I don't think there's anything else that I can go over that would make a difference here. Yeah, I think that's all. I hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown of this build for Wartales. It is easily the most broken build. It is S tier by far. And you saw in that last fight that we had 55 movement. Currently, we have a base of 22 going into a fight. And yeah, 55 movement is the most I've seen on a single unit, but it's insane. Absolutely insane. I've had a lot of fun with this build. I've gotten through a lot of very difficult content. This unit can handle, as you saw, 25 kills per round, easy. And even if there's a single unit with 40,000 HP, this unit can attack it over and over and over again. As long as you're dealing enough damage to heal you back to full HP, there is no amount of damage that can stop this unit. As long as this unit can move to it, it dies. Thanks for watching. Have a great day and enjoy the build.